She may have been the perfect person for powerful forces in the industry to manipulate into carrying out this terrifying attack on Rihanna's home. An AR-15, 10 shots fired, 9 people on the property, 3 of them children. And now the internet is asking the question no one in the industry seems willing to touch. Who was really behind it?
Jay-Z and Beyoncé are at the center of a disturbing storm after terrifying new allegations surrounding someone drove up to Rihanna's home with an AR-15 and opened fire while her children were inside. 10 shots, 9 people on the property, 3 of them kids. And now the internet is asking a question that nobody in the industry wants to answer. Who really sent her? Everybody thought they had this story figured out. Mentally ill woman from Florida drives a white Tesla across the country, pulls up to one of the most famous singers' homes in Beverly Hills, and just starts shooting. Random act of violence. Deranged stalker. Case closed. That was the version the headlines gave you. That was the neat little package they wanted you to swallow. But the deeper people dig into this woman, into her history, into her connections, into the timing of all of this, the whole narrative is starting to twist in a direction that nobody expected. Because this isn't just a story about a disturbed woman with a gun. This might be a story about who gave her the target. Let me break this whole thing down from the top, because there are layers to this that most people are skipping right over. Her name is Ivana Let Ortiz, 35 years old, originally from Orlando, Florida, and on a Sunday afternoon, a regular Sunday afternoon, she allegedly drove her white Tesla up to Rihanna's Beverly Hills property and unloaded approximately 10 rounds from an AR-15 style assault rifle directly at the home. Think about that for a second. An AR-15. That's not a handgun you tuck in a purse. That's not something you stumble across. That is a military-grade weapon designed to do maximum damage from a distance. And she had it, and she used it in broad daylight in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the entire country. The bullets struck the exterior gates. They hit the walls. One round literally embedded itself in the roof of the home. The roof! That means bullets were flying at angles that could have entered windows, could have gone through walls, could have reached anyone standing in the wrong spot at the wrong second. And here's what makes this so much worse. There were 9 people on that property when the shooting started. 9! Rihanna was there. A$AP Rocky was there. Their 3 children, their babies, were inside. Rihanna's own mother was reportedly on the grounds. Her talent agent, Tracy Jacobs, was there, and 2 other individuals who may have been security or household staff, possibly even a babysitter watching those kids. Reports indicate that Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were actually inside a trailer on the property at the time. A trailer, not even behind reinforced walls, just a trailer sitting in the driveway area. And bullets from an AR-15 go through trailers like paper, like literal paper. The LAPD responded fast. Dispatchers put out a description of the suspect and the vehicle. And here's the part that feels almost cinematic. An LAPD helicopter picked up the white Tesla from the air and followed it as it fled toward the San Fernando Valley. They tracked her, they found her, and they arrested her. Ivana Ortiz was booked and charged with 1 count of attempted murder and 9 counts of assault with a firearm, 1 for each person on that property. Her bail was set at $10 million. $10 million! She is not going anywhere. But here's where it starts getting really unsettling. When you dig into who Ivana Ortiz actually is, you don't just find a random woman who snapped. You find a trail, a long, loud, public trail that nobody seemed to follow until bullets were already flying. Ivana was Baker Acted in 2023. For anyone who doesn't know, the Baker Act is Florida's mechanism for involuntary psychiatric commitment. That means the state of Florida looked at this woman and said she is a danger to herself or others, and she needs to be placed in a psychiatric facility against her will. That happened. It's on record. She was institutionalized. She also reportedly has 0 custody of her own child. None. The courts determined that she was unfit to have custodial rights over her own daughter. That is not a small thing. Family courts do not strip parental rights lightly. Something significant had to have happened for that decision to be made. And yet, somehow, this woman had access to an AR-15 style rifle. Somehow, she was able to obtain a weapon that the military uses in combat zones. After a psychiatric hold, after losing custody, after posting publicly unhinged content all over social media for months. Someone online asked the exact right question. Who is selling these weapons to people like this? Because if she was Baker Acted, she should not have been eligible to purchase a firearm. Federal law prohibits gun sales to individuals who have been involuntarily committed to a mental institution. So either the system failed catastrophically, or someone else put that weapon in her hands. And that question, that one single question, is where everything starts to crack open. Let's talk about what Ivana was posting online, because the digital footprint on this woman is not subtle, it is screaming. On Facebook, she wrote posts directly addressing Rihanna. One of them read, and I quote, "Are you there?" talking to Rihanna, "because I was waiting for your AIDS 5-head self to say something to me directly instead of sneaking around." She believed Rihanna knew who she was. She believed Rihanna was communicating with her, sending her hidden messages, targeting her through some kind of spiritual warfare. There are also videos, multiple videos, where Ivana is looking into a camera and talking to Rihanna with this eerie combination of rage and detachment. In one clip, she mocks Rihanna's appearance, her forehead, her nose, and calls it God's judgment. In another, she goes on this bizarre tangent about buying stock in Ulta so that we energies from celebrities can't harass her when she walks into the store. She literally said, "I bought steak in there, and I said, forget you, this is mine too. You're not going to be throwing bad energy at me when I'm coming to the store." That is textbook religious psychosis. She believed celebrities were using demonic forces to attack her spiritually. She believed Rihanna was a witch. She said it on camera, direct quote, "She's a witch, get that stupid girl out of here." And then the line that stopped everyone cold. "Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future." That's not a metaphor. That's not hyperbole. That is a woman who believed that Rihanna's death was a prerequisite for her own destiny. She said it out loud. She recorded it. She posted it. And nobody intervened before she loaded an assault rifle into a Tesla and drove to Beverly Hills. Now let's get into the motive, because this is where it starts clicking and where it gets straight up bizarre. Ivana isn't just a random hater. When you look at her digital footprint, we're talking straight up Looney Tunes, man. She has an obsession, a deep, dark, spiritual obsession with female celebrities. Rihanna, Cardi B, Kim Kardashian. She's posted about these women for months, maybe years. And it's not, I hate their music, it's they're witches sent by the devil to harass me. In one Facebook post, she literally wrote to Rihanna, "Are you there? I was waiting for your AIDS 5-head self to say something to me directly instead of sneaking around." She believes Rihanna is communicating with her telepathically. That is textbook psychosis. But it gets darker. There's video footage, Ivana recording herself talking to the camera, addressing Rihanna directly, and the look in her eyes, it's empty, it's detached. She says, "Rihanna, you saw her picture. She has a very big forehead and an ugly nose. That's God's judgment on her." She's smiling while she says it. That's the creepy part. She's talking about hate and judgment with this calm, eerie smile on her face.
She claims Rihanna is stealing from her, stealing her energy, stealing her future. She says, "Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future." That is a death threat wrapped in religious delusion. You want to kill me? Shut the fuck up. She calls herself a watchman. She calls Rihanna a witch. She says, "Get that stupid girl out of here." It's this narrative of spiritual warfare. She genuinely believes she is fighting a demon, and that demon is Rihanna. And check this out. She even brings corporate America into her delusion. She talks about owning stock in Ulta Beauty. She says, "I bought stock in Ulta, so now those energies can't harass me when I go into the store." Like, what?
She thinks the pictures of Rihanna in the makeup aisle are demonically attacking her, and buying stock is her shield. But here is where we have to look at her history. Ivana was a speech therapist. She worked with kids. That's the part that has parents online freaking out. This woman was around children, but clearly she fell off. She lost custody of her own child. She has no rights to see her daughter. That kind of fall off hits different. When a mother loses her child, that trauma can break a mind that's already fragile. And who does she blame? She doesn't blame herself. She blames the witches. She blames the celebrities who are stealing her life. She even went after Billie Eilish. Back in Orlando, Ivana filed a legal petition to stop a Billie Eilish concert. She tried to use noise ordinance laws to shut it down. This shows she's not just incoherent, she's calculated. She knows how to file paperwork. She knows how to use the system. That mix of intelligence and insanity is dangerous. It's what allowed her to plan this trip to Beverly Hills. It's what allowed her to acquire the weapon. She's functional enough to hunt, but sick enough to pull the trigger. And looking at her videos, the way she pauses, the way she looks off camera like she's listening to voices, it's heartbreaking, but it's also terrifying because those voices told her to pick up an AR-15 and go to Rihanna's house. But here's the part that really hits different. The ones who got caught up in the middle of all this were the innocent babies, RZA and Riot. They are toddlers. They don't know about fame. They don't know about stalkers. They just know their mommy and daddy were home. Imagine being Rihanna. You've conquered the music industry. You've built a billion-dollar empire with Fenty. You have all the money in the world. But in that moment, when the shots started cracking, none of that money mattered. All that mattered was keeping those babies safe. The fear of a mother in that situation is primal. It doesn't matter if you're a superstar or a regular person. When you hear gunfire and your kids are nearby, your heart stops. And it wasn't just them. Rihanna's mom was there. Her talent agent was there. These are people just trying to have a Sunday afternoon. Maybe they were having lunch. Maybe they were playing in the yard. And suddenly, their sanctuary is turned into a war zone. The leaked details about them being in the trailer, that's so vulnerable. You're trapped in a small box while someone outside is hunting you. That is trauma that doesn't just go away. Sources say Rihanna was confused at first, but then terrified. And honestly, can you blame her? She jetted out of LA. As soon as the police cleared the scene, she packed up the family, loaded up the SUVs, and headed straight to Van Nuys Airport. She got on a private jet and left. She didn't look back. And honestly, I don't know if she'll ever feel safe in that house again. How could you? Every time a car drives by, every time a gate opens, you're going to hear those gunshots in your head. That's somebody's home. That's where they sleep. That's where they raise their kids. And Ivana Ortiz violated that in the worst way possible. It's a violation of peace that no amount of security guards can truly fix. It's sad because just a few weeks ago, we saw Rihanna grocery shopping. She looked so normal, so chill, just living her life. And now, that normalcy is gone, stolen by a woman with a rifle and a head full of demons. Now, this is where things get dark, and I mean really dark, because while the police are saying this is a case of mental illness, the internet detectives and conspiracy theorists are screaming that there is a puppet master behind Ivana. Enter the Jay-Z theory. People are alleging that this wasn't just Ivana acting alone. They're pointing fingers directly at Roc Nation and Jay-Z. Why? Because the timing is suspicious and the pattern is familiar. Remember Nicki Minaj? Remember the swatting incidents at her home? False reports of shootings, false reports of child abuse, people showing up to her house. Fans have been saying for a long time that there's an industry effort to destabilize female artists who don't fall in line. The theory goes like this. Rihanna has been distancing herself from the music machine. She's doing her own thing with Fenty. She's powerful, she's independent, and in the dark corners of the industry, independence is a threat. Some folks are saying Ivana was the perfect Manchurian candidate, a mentally ill woman, easily manipulated, easily triggered. Did someone wind her up? Did someone feed her these delusions about Rihanna being a witch? Who sent her is the question flooding social media. One comment with thousands of likes says, "You telling me Jay-Z could have hit on Rihanna and it's all behind the Epstein files?" Let's break that down. There is a massive rumor circulating that Rihanna is a key material witness in the Epstein files, or Diddy situation, or some other massive trafficking exposure that involves high-level executives. The theory suggests that Rihanna knows where the bodies are buried. She knows the secrets of Roc Nation. She knows what happened in those boardrooms when she was just a teenager. And now that things are heating up legally for certain moguls, maybe she's a liability. Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future. That's what Ivana said. But conspiracy theorists interpret that differently. They think she was parroting a message that Rihanna needs to be taken out for the future of the elite to be secure. It sounds crazy, right? But look at the history of tragedy around these circles. Look at how many people die or get locked up or go crazy right when they start speaking out or trying to leave. People are linking this to the Illuminati sacrifice theories, the idea that blood must be spilled for power to be maintained. Is Rihanna the target because she refused to do something or because she threatened to expose something? And let's keep it real, Jay-Z has been very quiet lately. With all the Diddy news, with all the exposure, the silence is loud. And when silence is loud, people start filling in the blanks with the wildest theories imaginable. I'm not saying Jay-Z picked up the phone and called Ivana, but the internet is convinced that the energies Ivana felt were actually psychological operations designed to push her over the edge and point her weapon at Rihanna. Now, let's circle back to the weapon because this is a detail we can't ignore. An AR-15 in the hands of a woman who was involuntarily committed to a psych ward less than a year ago. How does the background check system fail that badly? This person asked a great question online. Who is selling these big guns to people? If you've been in psychiatric care, you're not supposed to be eligible to buy one. This adds fuel to the fire that she had help. Did someone buy it for her? Did she buy it off the street? Or is the system just that broken? If she had help acquiring that weapon, that changes everything. That turns this from a solo act to a conspiracy. And let's talk about the security failure. Rihanna lives in a fortress, but Ivana was able to drive right up to the gate. She was able to park. She was able to get out, aim, and fired 10 shots before anyone could stop her. 10 shots is a lot of time. That is not a drive-by where you spray and pray. That is deliberate targeting. She was aiming at the house. She was aiming at the RV. And think about the other targets Ivana mentioned. Kim Kardashian, Cardi B. She called Kim a stupid B-word. She taunted Cardi B. This woman is a ticking bomb who was fixated on the queens of the industry. It makes you wonder, why Rihanna? Why now? Why was she the one who got the bullets? Was it because she's the most accessible, or was it because the voices pushed her harder toward Rivi? Ivana's video where she says, "I hate this woman, she has an ugly nose," shows a deep, personal hatred. It's irrational, it's jealousy mixed with madness. She sees Rihanna's success as a direct theft of her own potential. "She keeps harassing me," Ivana said. She genuinely believed Rihanna was in her head. That is a terrifying level of psychosis. And for the people saying, "Oh, she's just a hater," no, a hater leaves a mean comment. A psychopath drives across the country with a rifle. And honestly, looking at the damage, a bullet on the roof, that means she was firing high. She wasn't just shooting at the ground. She was trying to hit people inside the structure. The fact that she fled and led police on a chase shows she didn't want to get caught. She wanted to do the deed and escape. That implies a plan. That implies a desire to survive to see the future she talked about. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one incident. What we're seeing here is a massive failure of the mental health system in America. We have a woman who was screaming for help in her own twisted way for months. She was posting these threats publicly. She was making videos. She was filing crazy lawsuits. The warning signs were flashing red. One person on X wrote, "The scary part is not the shooting. It's the warning signs that were public and visible for weeks. Why didn't anyone step in? Why didn't the platforms flag her? Why didn't the authorities check on her?" We wait until tragedy happens. We wait until bullets are flying before we take mental illness seriously. And now, Rihanna and her kids are the ones paying the price for that negligence. This is also a wake-up call for celebrity culture. We live in an era where fans feel entitled to the stars. Parasocial relationships have gone toxic. People think they know these artists. They think they have a relationship with them. Ivana thought she had a spiritual war with Rihanna. That's the internet brain rot taking over. The line between reality and online delusion is gone. And for the artists, this is why they isolate. This is why they don't go out. This is why Rihanna might never do a meet and greet again. Can you blame her? When you realize that any random person in the crowd could be an Ivana, you pull back. This changes how we see fame. It's not just glitz and glamour. It's a target on your back. It's needing bulletproof glass in your nursery. It's needing a security team just to eat lunch in your own driveway. The mental illness crisis is real and it's armed. And until we address that, nobody, not even a billionaire like Rihanna, is truly safe. And let's not forget the industry aspect. Whether or not Jay-Z sent her, the fact that so many people believe he did shows how much distrust there is in the music business right now. People believe the industry is evil enough to kill a mother and her kids. That says a lot about where we are culturally. So what happens now? Rihanna's gone. She's on a private island somewhere, hopefully decompressing. But what does this mean for her future? Fans have been begging for an album. R9, where is the music? Well, let's keep it real. After this, I wouldn't be surprised if Rihanna retires from music permanently. Why would she put herself out there? Why would she tour? Touring means being exposed. Touring means being in arenas where anything can happen. If I'm Rihanna, I'm sticking to selling lip gloss and lingerie from the safety of a bunker. And that house, that Beverly Hills mansion, it's probably going up for sale next week. You can't live there anymore. The energy is tainted. The memory of the gunshots is embedded in the walls. She's gonna have to move. She's gonna have to upgrade her security to presidential levels. We are talking Secret Service-style protection. And as for Ivana, she's facing attempted murder. She's looking at decades behind bars. But will she even go to prison? Or will she end up in a facility for the criminally insane? Her lawyer is definitely going to plead insanity, and with her history, it might work. She might spend the rest of her life in a hospital, medicated, wondering why God didn't give her the future she promised. But the scary thought remains, was she alone? If the conspiracy theorists are right and she was just a pawn, then the real threat is still out there. And that is the thought that keeps everyone up at night. Stay locked in, because this story is about to get even crazier. More details are dropping every hour. We still need to know where the gun came from. We still need to know if she had financial help to get to LA. So drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to hear from you. Do you think this was just a case of mental illness? A woman lost in her own delusions? Or do you think the internet detectives are onto something? Do you believe the theory that Jay-Z or Rock Nation or some higher power in the industry set this up to take out Rihanna? Is there a connection to the Epstein files? And what about the security? How did she get that close? Let me know what you think. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update, because we are covering every twist that comes out. This isn't over. I appreciate you for rocking with me. Pray for Rihanna, pray for those kids, and stay safe out there. Watch your surroundings. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.